The buying process has become more complex. So what is the answer to that? The answer is we need to start building ecosystems of content that actually help these people, not just convince them why change. When I look at most organizations and their content, B2B organizations and their content, it's all about why change. At every step of the customer journey. The beginning, why you should change. This new amazing, new paradigm shifting, there's always paradigm shifting stuff. It's always shifting the synergies of the paradigm, and it's always going to shift that paradigm. And you're going to shift it into this new approach that we're going to take to change the way that you do business for this particular solution. Change. We're going to change. And your whole point is to get them to want to change, They become a lead, and then the salespeople get in on it. And the salespeople are literally just distributors of content these days. Because why? Because if they're not taking cold calls, but if they get a call, it's going to be like, oh, you got to read this new white paper, you got to do this, you got to do this. And guess what? The customer's going, yeah, okay, fine, check the box. Add it to my stack of other thought leadership that I'm getting about why to change, why I should change. And it's just the same all the way through, even after they become customers. It is not uncommon for me to meet B2B customers who are still getting email newsletters from the marketing team from that saying, hey, here's why you should change. Here's why you should change. Yes, I know, I bought your product. And I'm still getting messages about why I should change into this new paradigm shifting solution. And so can we start to create an ecosystem of content that actually helps people to change? To actually change, to actually help them build, implement, and understand what it's like to actually do these things. And we call this building audiences and building fans, not just followers. So when we do this, what we end up doing, and I would recommend you all do it, is look at your audiences, and that when by audiences I mean your email database, those whom you are looking at social media, those who are in your CRM system, and the salespeople are following up with. They're all in discrete databases, by the way. You all have different databases for all this stuff, and you're trying to think, just how are we going to connect all this stuff? We're going to connect all this stuff with the blog and the email newsletter and the CRM system. The salespeople are like, get out of my CRM system. I don't want you to touch my CRM. And you're like, okay, hold on. We're thinking about all this stuff. When we do an audience audit of all these things, we put them into 4 quadrants. And I want you to think about these 4 quadrants. Because 1 in the upper right is what we're looking for, what we call the zone of action. And what does that mean? It means that they're frequently taking action on anything that we send to them, anything that we do with them, and they're advocates of ours. In other words, they're buying into what we're selling from a thought leadership perspective, and they're frequently taking action. They're sharing it. They're making a phone call on it. They're returning the email that we send to them. Whatever it is, they're taking an action on it. That's a fan. We're building fans. And then in the lower left-hand corner, we've got really those who are apathetic, don't take an action at all, never sort of really do anything with that. And by the way, they also disagree with us for the most part. We call those the unintended. That's the, analysts that you're sending stuff to. That's the job seekers, it's the competitors who have signed up for your email newsletter. It's all sorts of things. You can delete those. We can delete them. That's the zone of surrender, we call it. Now, the lower right-hand side is the danger zone. That's where most of us really don't want to be, which is the people who generally agree with us, but when we send them stuff, don't do anything. How routine is it that we have a 25,000 member email database that we dutifully work hard to send them an email every single Friday, and it's got 3 bullet points every Friday. It's got to have 3 bullet points because it doesn't look right for the creative director. If it doesn't have 3 bullet points, it's just unbalanced. So you're running around saying, who's got something that I can put in the newsletter for the 3rd bullet point? I've got to get that 3rd bullet point in there. So you get that 3rd bullet point. Yes, it can go out. It's Friday. It's great. We send it, and crickets. Nothing. Maybe 1%, 2%. Somewhere these best practices of 1%, 2%, 5% click-through rate became sort of industry standard. Really? That means 95% of people are just like, don't care. Don't care. Open rates in the 30% range. Even when, by the way, we all have email clients with preview windows now. If we're not getting 100% open rates right now, that means before it even previews, they're deleting it. And so thinking about that, where are we? Because the zone of opposition is okay too. If they disagree with us, but they're always taking action, Like our point of view or our approach to thought leadership is so controversial that it's actually causing people to argue online and do all this. Yes, that's okay. We want to move them over, obviously, to the more advocate to our work, but that's okay.